Hey guys, it's great to be back again. I so appreciate you watching my videos because I know they kind of get boring with just seeing Miss Tammy's face all the time. But until I figure out something else to do, listen, I did post a video on the Promised Land page, so you can go there. It's not me, it's a little snippet kind of what this lesson is about. So if you want to go to Promised Land's Facebook page, your mom and dad can take you there and watch that video. That would be terrific. Also, tell your parents, I'm doing a porch drop-off on Sunday from 1 to 3. If you would like a gift from Miss Tammy in the church, please tell your mom or dad or grandparent, whoever, to let me know what your address is. They can text me, they can private message me, whatever they need to do. Just let me know your address and I'll drop off you a little goodie bag, okay? I know you guys are getting ready for school and I just want to let you know I was thinking about you and praying for you. Today we're going to be reading in Genesis again. Remember, that's the very first book of the Bible. At the very front, we're going to be starting in chapter 25. Those are the two big numbers, 2-5, when you look in that book of Genesis, okay? So go ahead and find that. We're going to keep talking about Abraham. Remember, we talked about Abraham for the past couple of weeks here. Abraham and Sarah, they were blessed with that son Isaac. And remember what happened last week with Isaac? Abraham was told by God to take him up to the mountain and sacrifice him. And then when he got there and he laid Isaac on the pile of wood, right before he was about to sacrifice him, God stopped him and said, no, Abraham, it was just a test and you passed. So that was pretty cool. Well, now we're going to be talking about Isaac again, but he is all grown up and he has 2 sons of his own. So we're going to read about those guys today. Let's read in chapter 25. Let's start with verse 19. You ready? This is the story of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah. Isaac pleaded with the Lord to give Rebekah a child because she was childless. So the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and his wife became pregnant with twins. But the 2 children struggled with each other in her womb. So she went to ask the Lord about it. Why is this happening to me? She asked. And the Lord told her, the sons in your womb will become 2 rival nations. One nation will be stronger than the other. The descendants of your older son will serve the descendants of your younger son. And when the time came, the twins were born. Okay, so we're going to skip ahead to chapter 27. We're going to start with verse 1, and we're going to read about what happened when those twins got older. When Isaac was old and almost blind, he called for Esau, his older son, and he said, "My son." "Yes, father," Esau replied. "I'm an old man now, and I expect every day to be my last. Take your bow and quiver full of arrows out into the open country and hunt some wild game for me. Prepare it just the way I like it so that it's savory and good, and bring it here for me to eat. And then I will pronounce the blessing that belongs to you, my firstborn, before I die." But Rebekah overheard the conversation. So when Esau left to hunt wild game, she called Jacob in there and she said, "Guess what? I overheard your father asking Esau to prepare a delicious meal of wild game because he wants to give him his blessings. Now, my son, listen carefully and do exactly as I say. Go out to the flocks and bring me 2 goats. I'll prepare your father's favorite dish from them. Take the food to your father and then he can eat it and bless you instead of Esau before he dies." "But mother," Jacob replied, "he won't be fooled that easily. Think how hairy Esau is and how smooth my skin is. What if my father touches me? He'll see that I'm trying to trick him and I'll be cursed instead of blessed." "Let the curse fall on me, dear son," said Rebekah. "Just do what I tell you to do. Go out and get the goats." So Jacob followed his mother's instructions, bringing her to the 2 goats, and she took them and cooked Isaac's favorite dish. Then she took Esau's best clothes, which were in the house, and dressed Jacob with them. She made him a pair of gloves from the hairy skin of the young goats, and she fastened a strip of the goat skin around his neck, and then she gave him the meat dish with its rich aroma and some freshly baked bread. Jacob carried the platter of food to his father and said, "My father." "Yes, my son. Who is it, Esau or Jacob?" Jacob replied, "It's Esau, your older son. I've done as you told me. Here's the wild game I cooked just the way you like it, and sit up and eat so you can give me your blessing." Isaac asked, "How were you able to find it so quickly, my son?" And Jacob replied, "Because the Lord your God put it in my path." And then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come over here. I want to touch you and make sure you're really Esau." So Jacob went over to his father and Isaac touched him. The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's. Isaac said to himself. But he did not recognize Jacob because Jacob's hands felt hairy just like Esau's. So Isaac pronounced his blessing on Jacob. "Are you really my son Esau?" he said. "Yes, of course," said Jacob. Then Isaac said, "Now, my son, bring me my meat, and I will eat it, and I will give you my blessing." So Jacob took the food over to his father, and Isaac ate it. "Come here and kiss me, my son." So Jacob went over and kissed him, and when Isaac caught the smell of his clothes, he was finally convinced, and he blessed his son, and he said, "The smell of my son is a good smell. The open fields the Lord has blessed. May God always give you plenty of dew for healthy crops and harvest of grain and wine. May many nations become your servants. May you be the master of your brothers. May all your mother's sons bow low before you. All who curse you are cursed, and all who bless you are blessed." As soon as Isaac has blessed Jacob, and almost before Jacob left his father, Esau returned from his hunting trip, and Esau prepared his father's favorite meal. And he brought it to him, and he said, "I'm back, Father. I've come with wild game. Sit up and eat so you can give me your blessing." But Isaac asked him, "Who are you?" "Why, it's me, of course. It's Esau, your older son." And Isaac began to tremble uncontrollably and said, "Then who was it who just served me wild game? I've already eaten it, and I've blessed him, an irrevocable blessing, before you came." And when Esau understood, he let out a loud and bitter cry. "Oh, my father, bless me too," he begged. But Isaac said, "Your brother was here, and he tricked me, and he carried away your blessing." Esau said bitterly, "No wonder his name is Jacob, for he has deceived me twice, first taking my birthright, and now stealing my blessing. Oh, haven't you saved even one blessing for me, Father?" And Isaac said to Esau, "I made Jacob your master, and I have declared that all of his brothers will be his servants. I guaranteed him an abundance of grain and wine. What is there left to give?" And Esau pleaded, "Not one blessing, just one? Oh, Father, please bless me too." And then Esau broke down and wept. His father Isaac said to him, "You will live off the land and what it yields, and you will live by your sword. You will serve your brother for a time, but then you will shake loose from him and be free." Esau hated Jacob because he had stolen his blessing, and he said to himself, "My father will soon be dead and gone, and then I will kill Jacob." Now that was a pretty powerful story. It started out as just a little white lie almost, but it tumbled into something huge, where you want to kill your brother or sister. Now, I have sisters. Don't have any brothers, but I have a lot of sisters. And we fought a lot. I don't think it ever got to the point where I wanted to kill one of them. Pretty close, but not that bad. But lying is a terrible thing, and I don't think Jacob thought of all the consequences he would have to suffer for that little lie, and we'll probably read about those next week. But when Jacob took the responsibility of doing what his mom said, of course he did what his mom said. His mom told him to. So Jacob and Rebekah did something terrible. They plotted together to not only steal Esau's birthright, but to steal something from Isaac they had been saving for Esau. And that was a terrible, terrible thing. Lies can do that, though. It was, we think we are just taking a little something, but it's always way bigger than we think. We can't think of the big picture sometimes when we're wanting to tell that little white lie, but you always have to think of who you're going to hurt. I mean, they hurt way more than just Esau. They hurt generations of Esau's family, of Jacob's family. They hurt Rebekah and they hurt Isaac. Even though Rebekah plotted it, in the end it's going to hurt her too, because now she has to be afraid for her son Jacob when she learns that that Esau wants to kill him. So she kind of messed up there too. Esau was so wrong to give up his birthright to Jacob, but Jacob kind of tricked him there too. But both Jacob and Rebekah were dishonest when they tricked Isaac. Jacob got what he wanted twice, but it caused big problems in their family. Jacob and Esau didn't have a great relationship, but now they have a terrible one. Dishonesty causes big problems in families all over the world today even. But you know what? Our big idea is God can help us be honest with our families, and He can help us be honest with our families. Maybe there's something you've been struggling to tell your family that you don't think they'll accept, or you think that you might get in trouble for. It's okay. God can help you be honest with your family too. I promise. So, we're going to go into our memory verse. And I know you guys are like, that's okay. I get it. Memory verses are sometimes hard. I don't remember anything, so trust me, I totally understand. But I promise you, you may not need this verse this week or next week, but sometime you're going to have to call back this verse to help you out. Maybe in a couple of weeks when you're going through school and you're scared because everybody's wearing masks and you've heard about this virus and you don't know what's what. Well, you can remember this verse. Are you ready? It's from Romans 8:28. We know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. Even when we can't see the good, God is still doing the good. We don't have to see it to believe it, just like we don't have to see God to believe him. We just have to know it's there. You ready? So we're going to put some movements to it because it might help you remember. It definitely helps the little ones. Let's go. We know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. Can we do that one more time? And you maybe can do the movements with me. We know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. That's a really easy verse, Romans 8:28. It even has a really easy Bible verse to remember. So you guys practice that verse. I'm going to post it later on our Promise Land Facebook page. And I'm also going to post music on our Promise Land Facebook page so you guys can have some worship time. Make sure your parents are logged into Facebook and get those notifications so you guys will know when the videos are ready or when I'm just posting whatever or when I'm doing a giveaway. You just never know what Miss Tammy's got up her sleeve. So plug into that Facebook page. Not only the NCC Facebook page, but Promise Land one too. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.